Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Today we are going to be making my bacon wrapped chicken and cheese sauce. You're going to need some whipping cream, some Monterey Jack. I've got Gouda here, but you can use any combination of cheese that you want. I'm going to use my Sunday's Best. Oh my God, that has turned into my favorite seasoning ever. We're going to use some smoked paprika. We're going to use some parsley, fresh parsley that is. We're going to use some bacon. I always prefer the applewood. There's nothing like the flavor. We're going to use, I've got 5 chicken breasts that I just take, well, not just last night. I took out the freezer. So I'm going to cut these in half this way, okay? And half this way, okay? And I'll be right back. All right, as you can see, I've cut the chicken up into pieces, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get some paprika on here. This is going to add some beautiful color to our meat. And you don't have to cut them up like this. I just prefer to because then it stretches the meat a little bit more so that, you know, they don't eat up one at a time. I mean, a whole piece. Sometimes they only want a little bitty piece and then the other part will go to waste. So this is what you call preserving mommy, okay? And then that Sunday's Best. Okay. And then we're going to definitely season both sides. All right. So just turn that baby over. And you can use the chicken tenders with this. You don't have to use the chicken breast. Chicken breast is what I had in the freezer, and that's what I'm using. You can use any kind of meat with this. I mean, the bone in. A lot of people like bone in. You can put this over noodles. You can put this over rice. You can put this over anything you want. A bowl of vegetables. Anything you want to, okay? This is another one of those real simple, easy meals. This Sunday's Best is the best, let me tell you. Okay, and then once we get finished with that, then you just take your piece of bacon, grab your chicken. Can you see what I'm doing? Grab your chicken, wrap it around. Okay, wrap it around. I'm going to actually do it where it's more the other way, because I want that bottom piece. I don't want, if you feel more comfortable, you can absolutely take a toothpick and put it in there. Okay, and then you're going to stick it in the skillet when we get done with that. So I'm just going to go through, wrap them all up. Okay, we're going to wrap every single one of these pieces of chicken up. I've also done this where I've put maple syrup on it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hopefully you got a package of chicken that, I mean not chicken, but bacon that has at least 10 slices. Sometimes they like to jip you a little bit on that. Okay. And then while we're doing this, also what you might want to make sure that you do, and that is have your oven preheating on 350. We're going to cook it on 350. And you're just wrapping it around. I don't know if you can see it if I got the camera up too high. Hopefully you can. Just wrap it around. Okay? I gotta wash my hands. Alright, so then the next step, I need to turn my oven on. You've heard me talk about my cooking spray. We want to get that in there. You could trim some of that fat off that chicken if you want to, but we're getting ready to brown it up a little bit before we put it in the oven. So you don't have to do that because we want juices flowing, okay? So we're just going to put this chicken with that bacon in this pan. We're going to let it cook on both sides, probably about 8 to 10 minutes, depending on your stove, depending on your oven. I mean, I said your oven, your stove. Depending on your stove, about 10 minutes max. Because we're still going to cook this in the oven, okay? So you want to put this in there for about, I'd say it's probably going to take about 8 minutes. Some of these thicker pieces a little bit longer. because you can see the differences. Let me grab my camera and show you what I'm talking about. See, this is what I mean. See how thick this piece is, and then you look at the one right next to it, and you see how thick it's not. So you might have to let it cook a little bit longer, okay? So we're just going to put these in this skillet like we just did. Put it over a medium heat. We're going to fry it, saute it, or whatever you want to call it, 8 to 10 minutes on both sides, okay? That's what we're going to do. When I flip it to the next side, I'll come back and let you see what mine looks like, and I'm going to clean up my mess in between time. All right, I'll be back. As you can see, I went ahead and flipped them. They could get a little bit more crispy, but that's okay, because like I said, we're going to put this in the oven, okay? So that's what it looks like once I flipped it off to the side, and as you can see, there's a piece of bacon right there. That was my extra one. Nico's going to eat that. Nico's my little 8-pound little chewing. Okay? He's going to love that. All right? So there we go. All right, I'll be back when it's time to take them out of the pan and show you the next step. And okay, as you can see, I've taken the chicken out. I did 10 minutes on both sides. Now we're going to put this in the oven. Okay? We're going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes. But not before we go to the next step. I've already shredded up my cheese, okay? But I decided I'm also going to use 2 packets of these, okay? If you've never had these, if you got the Velveeta slices, use those. It's 2 pouches that I'm going to put in with this cheese. We're going to make this sauce so cheesy. Okay, so I'm going to set that up, and I'll be right back with you. All right, so what I did with this skillet was I merely wiped it out. As you can still see, there's a few little bits in there and stuff. That's fine, but you want to wipe it out, okay? So you need about a cup of this whipping cream. If you don't have whipping cream, use regular milk, okay? Use what you have. And it's about a cup, but am I going to do a little more? Yeah. I'm just going to use this whole carton. That's what I'm going to do. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So this was 1 carton, and it is a quart. I'm just going to use that whole thing. Okay, I'm going to let that come to a boil, but I am going to add a little pepper to it. But you want this to come to a boil before we add that cheese, okay? A little pepper. Well, a little bit more than a pepper, but yeah, there you go. So I'm going to let this come to a boil. I'll come back, and then we're going to start adding cheese to this. I'll be right back. Now, also, I want to say that you do stir as this is heating up. Don't just walk away and leave it here because it will burn, okay? So kind of stir it up, you know, every few seconds, okay? I wanted to make sure I told you that, all right? Okay, I'll be back once this comes to a boil. All right, as you can see, I've got the cheeses in there. We're going to cut the fire down to low, and we're just going to let those cheeses get to know one another. We're going to let this melt. It shouldn't take any more than 2 minutes for all of this to melt all up and get to know one another, okay? So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take 2 minutes, constantly stirring, getting all those cheeses incorporated. Okay? And then I'll be back. 2 minutes. That's all it should take if you let this come to a boil. Alright? As you can see, look. You see it's turning a little bit of color there. Getting a little orange on in there. Okay? So I'm just going to continue to keep stirring. 2 minutes. I'll be back. Oh. Alright. Okay. This is what your cheese sauce should look like. Okay? We're going to put it in a pan. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pour this in the pan. I'm going to take you off camera because I don't want to burn myself, okay? So I'm going to pour this into a pan, and then I'm going to put the chicken on top of it, but I'll let you see that. I'm just going to pour it in the pan, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, see the cheese sauce is in there. I made extra cheese mainly because I know that I'm going to want it to go with something else later on, like pasta noodles or something like that. So I wanted to have extra cheese to pour over that. If you don't want to, you're fine. Don't do it. Okay, so I'm just dumping this chicken right on in there. Like I said, we're going to put this in the oven. I'm going to put a piece of foil over this, and we're going to let it bake for 30 minutes. Okay? 30 minutes. All right? Look at that. That is going to be so yummy. All right. I need to get one more piece in here. Fit her in where she can get in. Okay, so I'm going to put a piece of foil over this. Put it in the oven. Let it bake for 30 minutes, okay? That's what we're going to do. 30 minutes. I'll be back. All right, there she is. The bacon wrapped chicken and cheese sauce. I paired it with some egg noodles. That's just parsley sprinkled on top. Okay. And then I put some zucchini and squash in the back, sauteed in the oven. That's it. There we go. Bacon wrapped chicken and cheese sauce. There we go. There we go. Things made easy with Gigi. All day, every day. Yes, it is. All day, every day. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. Please like, subscribe, and feel free to share. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you again so much for stopping by. Everybody stay safe, be blessed, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.